We're live. We're back. We're back in full effect. Well, we're in semi-effect. We're in some sort of effect. We have a pronounced effect. But we're here. Cooperville Live for your Thursday, February the 18th, 2021. Glad to be here. Glad to be live with you on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the Twitch. And appreciate you for hanging out with us and following along for the last 2 weeks in, I think. I think we survived 2 weeks almost. We did, because we started the show Friday, 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So we got lots to discuss today. Lots to discuss. First and foremost, Jesse James Dupree from Jackal and from Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey. He doesn't sponsor the show, but I do happen to have a bottle in my possession, and that's not from today. Don't get any bad ideas. It's not just from today. He's already jumping on. What's up? WS in the house. You on the Twitch? You're everywhere. You're everywhere, and that's awesome. I love it. I appreciate it. Feel free to jump in the comments. We have 2 hours of conversation to fill before Jesse joins us. That's coming up at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Are we daylight savings? I don't know. This is big news. This just literally happened right before we came on. NASA has successfully landed their Land Rover Perseverance on Mars. I mean, that's, of all the shit going on in the world, you just land what is the most technologically advanced piece of machinery on a different planet. I figured we'd be colonizing Mars by 2021. I think I fell too much into like Back to the Future. Like if we had flying cars by 2021, nah. But they literally just happened. I was watching the live feed. It's not like a live feed, which was weird. It was more of you got to see inside of Mission Control, which, by the way, here's what's going to happen. After it landed successfully, this is according to data. They don't have like a live camera on the thing. Like, here's what's, we're not quite there yet. Can't quite stream live from Mars. But I volunteer to be the first one to do so. I'm just saying, if you're taking, beam me up, Scotty. Get me the fuck out. So they were really just doing like a play-by-play, and they had some graphics, some digital graphics that they were showing. But they just landed on the surface of Mars like moments ago. So that's pretty cool. I mean, the rest of society might be falling into chaos, but mission to Mars is still on. This thing's gonna be pretty cool though. It is really its source, or the purpose of it is to find if it's possible for us to colonize Mars at some point. It's going to be taking back samples. Here's the you get excited about these things. I think maybe it's watching too much Star Wars and Star Trek and shit like that. Like, well, it's going to be taking samples. It's digging down into this area where they believe that they're at one point in history, billions of years ago, or millions of years ago, there could have been oceans, lakes, water sources. So they're going to dig down into that riverbed or ocean bed and see if perhaps there was once water on the surface of Mars, which water is sustainable life. They could come up with some, perhaps, maybe there's some exoskeletons of previous inhabitants, some single or multiple celled organisms that once roamed the face of Mars. So they're going to do this, but you get excited because you hear that. And outside of, obviously, there's going to be transmission back and forth and images and stuff. But like these samples don't come back for like another 10 years. That's like, oh man. I think it's a 6 month trip to Mars, I believe. But it's going to be there for a while. And obviously, I'm not sure how they're getting it back. Like space Uber. We got a bunch of people joining him. Uncle Jack, right? On the face of Mars. WS, the first good thing to happen in 2021. It's just getting us closer. Getting us closer to Mars life. It's cool, though. Yeah. I think it was scheduled to touch down, like right as it did. You know, you can't get a flight from, Chicago to Minneapolis to land on time, but they were within a margin of like 3 minutes. Like it's expected to land. This the story was obviously written before they were showing the live stream. It was scheduled to land on the surface of Mars at 3:55 Eastern, and it landed at we're Central Time, so like 2:58 within 3 minutes. Pretty crazy what we can do. But that was kind of the big story today. I got excited though because there was a bunch of different posts that were up like, hey, you can watch it, and I was like, how fucking cool would that be? You watch this giant object just what do they say, 12,000 miles an hour once it reaches inside of Mars's atmosphere. No. It wasn't like that. It was some CGI stuff. They're like, oh, here's what we think it's happening. But it's still pretty cool. 6-month trip. Yep, that's right. Only 293 million miles from Earth. It is it reached launching a United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket on July 30th, so it's been out there for a while. The rover is the size of a small car, weighing in at 1 ton in total, and is 10 feet long by 9 feet wide, 7 feet tall, has a robotic arm that reaches about 7 feet out. It's pretty cool. Has a camera, chemical analyzer, and a rock drill. Sounds like a band. Rock drill. I have cranked down my tunes here. Crank down the tunes. That's my boys, my buddies Blake and Joey, doing some cool stuff. We'll get more into that later on. But that was cool. At least amongst all the dividing factors that are going on in the world, we can all agree that it's pretty cool that we just landed another object on the surface of Mars. Just good questions coming in here. Is Subway's tuna sandwich made of tuna? I don't. I haven't given the Subway tuna a chance in my life. I get sketchy about it. I mean, I like me some Subway. They're doing that $5 footlong thing. It was my jam. But the tuna. I wasn't gonna hedge my bets against that actually being tuna. Yeah, it's got a helicopter on it too. It's going to be able to be interesting. Smart people out there, smart people in the world. I was just listening to a podcast with Elon Musk. He was on talking about a plethora of things. And, the colonization of Mars and SpaceX and maybe a year, a little more, a little less away from actually manned missions around in outer space on SpaceX machines. Falcon 9. Elon Musk just comes up with, he's like, I like the Falcon 9. For what reason? I don't know. I think it just sounds cool. Sounds cool. Call that the Roadster, the Model X, the Model S, Falcon, SpaceX. He just thinks of cool names. Like they have no real purpose to them, I'm sure. Well, they probably do. I mean, Tesla, obviously, from Nikolai Tesla, but it's amazing what we can do when you put the smart people in charge. I think that's the plan, WS. Building a dome. I was watching some documentary, and I was pissed because it was one of those things that was on Netflix, and it was like, this series expires in so many days. I'm like, I'll watch it. But it was one of those things I turn on, before going to bed. And it just doesn't work for me. I get all excited. I'm like, this is going to be really cool. And then I'm out. It doesn't happen. But I was watching this, and it was kind of like a docu-series. There was some movie-esque things to it, series type things to it, and then there was some like, this is from back in 2016. I think the footage of is talking about SpaceX and the goal of inhabiting Mars, and that's what they were saying was get up there, do the research, find out what is available there, find out what sort of elements, what sort of things, and then have that information back and be able to say, okay, well, we know that we have nitrogen and we have this. Well, how could we, in theory, use the items that were there or that are on Mars, on the surface of Mars, in order to create, sustainable things in life, food, and, can you, if that giant ocean or waterbed was frozen, could you, in theory, find a way to, transform it into, water for these things? So they're doing all this research. But in the series, that's exactly what they were doing. WS was they were like they took things up in pieces. So like over the course of time, like every 6 months, it's not 6 months though. I think there's like, or every 6 months you have the opportunity to be able to get the right trajectory, because you kind of have to, I think, wing around Mars or wing around the sun, and then you can get to Mars. But there's only like 2 times out of the year that you can actually make that flight. So if you're up there, nobody's coming for like 6 months. Like you land, you're like, oh shit, this broke. And you're like, oh. But the series was really super cool. But it talked about that, like getting there and, one drop is this, and then somehow robotically these things set themselves up. Okay, now we have this. Then the people get there and they press some buttons and they add some things. And all of a sudden you have this sustainable area, and it expands every 6 months. Somebody, they bring in the rocket lands and more people come and they bring more equipment. And then you can expand that. Then you can start some growth. That's really the long-term idea, is to colonize Mars. And perhaps over the course of time, that becomes like the stepping stone. Like before we go to wherever, one of the moons of Saturn, which I believe it's Saturn, or I think it's Saturn or Jupiter, has moons that in theory could be inhabitable. Inhabitable before the sun blows up. I know. Dude, I'm into that science stuff, man. I watch that stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson doing that thing on outer space. I think that was a Discovery Channel thing? Nat Geo, one of the two. But yeah. So you use Mars as like this stepping stone of like, oh, okay, we get these stuffs to Mars, and then while we're on Mars, we can build rockets that can go to, maybe one of the moons of Saturn or Jupiter. And notice how we're moving further away. Maybe not necessarily from the sun, because we got a couple million years before that. I think it's time to move. Where are you thinking about going? Well, I don't know. Mars sounds nice this time of year. Manned spaceships to Mars. 6-month trip. Likely no return flight. Think about that. Yeah, where you go? I'm going to go to Mars. I will never see you again. Goodbye. But if they need a podcast host or somebody to live stream from Mars, the only thing that would suck though is I think I'd have to shave the beard, because I think in order to have like the helmet be secure, you're going to have to, like, I was thinking about at one point, I was like, like being a volunteer firefighter, that'd be badass. Like I'd be super down with that. And somebody said, well, you'd have to shave your beard. And I'm like, well, it was a cool thought. It's not going to happen. The Matt Damon movie wasn't a documentary, or was it? I don't know. Is it The Martian? The Martian? I don't know. Yeah, maybe Matt Damon has the inside track on aliens. They're just always on the other side, so we can't see them. Maybe that's it. Or those deep caverns that they have on Mars. That was part of that docu-series thing, that documentary / miniseries on Netflix, was like there's these giant caves, and nobody really knows what's inside of them. Perhaps there is some other, I'm not going to say life forms, because, trust me, if the Martians were there, they'd have moved the hell out already. They'd have been like, I don't want to be this close to Earth, man. I don't want to be this close to those guys throwing nukes into the air all the time, getting crazy with the football. But they wanted to find out what's in these caverns because there could be other ways of creating sustainable life on the planet. But really cool stuff with Perseverance going and landing on the surface of Mars, and a pretty cool feat. I mean, you think about it, logistically speaking, and they've done it. This is this the fifth one? Let me pull that story back up. Like the fifth time they've sent something and landed it successfully on Mars. Well, Mars rovers, the rovers. And just like us, as inhabitants of this planet, we just leave our shit there. Like, man, the first three are already dead. There's laying like on the surface of Mars. Like, man, we'll get that later. We'll pick that up when it's convenient. We're already polluting Mars. Ugh. Go team. That's pretty impressive, though. Pretty impressive. Because maybe there's plenty of reasons that we need to bolt. It won't happen, probably in our lifetime. If it is, it'll be like the last flight. For me, it'd be like the last flight out. Like, hey, you may have 6 months. You may get to the surface, but we don't know if we need the extra cargo. They probably there's probably like an age. Like, you got to be in a good window. Like, it's probably under 25, right? Don't you think? We want to know once you get there, you're going to be able to do stuff. Like, they're not sending the, 65, 70, 85-year-old people up there. Like, can you pull your own weight? Oh, geez, I don't know. But who knows? Maybe that's where the answers lie. Maybe the answers lie on Mars. Giant black holes, man. That's what I saw that. There was in one of the, I don't know, there's so many. The universe, and then there was, the Neil deGrasse Tyson one. There's so many that are out there. That's what they're saying, though, is they were like, well, we can, once we get to Mars, it's like, and this is obviously over the course of thousands of years. So we get to Mars and we kind of figure out Mars, and then we go, all right, so we got a little bit more time. Let's figure out how we can get to this next planet, and then the next planet. And then really the end goal is to get out of this solar system. Just get out. We want to be somewhere else, different galaxy, perhaps. So we're just like planet jumping. Yeah. Pretty crazy, though. Like, we'll figure out Mars, and then we'll move on to the next one. We'll destroy Earth. First and foremost, let's get rid of this POS, right? Halfway there already. Yeah, we'll go to Mars, and we'll figure out how to get out of Mars and destroy Mars in the process. We'll find some crazy new technology on Mars. Like, oh, we can use this that doesn't exist on Earth, and we can make it into energy. And then we'll be like, oh, we used all that up. We up. We're going to Jupiter, or the moons. Going to the moons. Some of those places are tough to land on gas planets and stuff. You got to be careful about that. Yeah. It'd be fun. But here in the real world, here where we all currently exist, we are all living. Lots of stuff going on. The world's ending, countries getting doused with Wisconsin-like weather. Do you think that gives them, more respect for us? Like, damn. Probably not. Because they know that we're prepared. We're prepared if we get snow. We're ready for it. We got snowplows at the ready. It happens. It happened today. It like a light dusting, like places where, like my mom lived in the Carolinas, and I remember one time they got snow like a dusting, and they're like, "Oh shit, close everything down. It's the apocalypse." We got that today, and everybody's like, "No, whatever." You just kind of learn to slide on the corners, like dirt track racing. It's gonna turn into it. It'd be fine. But places like Texas, it's still crazy. The snow, the temperatures, power grid. A lot of controversy over the power grid. Because all the wind turbines are frozen, and then there's conspiracies about that. Like, well, they really were spraying some fossil fuel on that. Well, I don't know. Somebody who said no, that's not true. They were spraying hot water on it, so it must not have been cold. Because if you go outside in Wisconsin when it's cold, and you throw hot water, guess what it does? Turns into gas. Just no longer hot water. Yeah. Just into the atmosphere. So I don't know what it was. And even if it wasn't hot water, as some were claiming, even if it was some sort of petroleum-based spray to de-thaw ice, again, that's what makes the water thing not make any sense. Like if you have ice on something and you throw like water on it, even if it's hot, it just creates more ice. But I don't know. Who knows? Flamethrower. See, now we're talking flamethrowers, man. That's the key. It's Texas. You know they have them. It's like guns. They just like you come into you move to Texas. They're like, here's a flamethrower and here's a gun. Go, be gone. Go hunt some wild game, man. Have fun with it. But yeah, Texas under weather issues again. Another storm. A lot of the rest of the country dealing with other storms. Here in Wisconsin, we're like, this is, it's 18 degrees right now, and it feels like a heat wave. We talked last week on the program, like we didn't get above zero air temp, and the wind chills were 20, 30, 40 below zero. So this, like 18, I was outside, and I'm like, I don't need a jacket, stocking cap. Beautiful day. No sun, a little snow, above zero. Feels good. And we're supposed to get to like 30 by Sunday. There will be people on shorts. My buddy James, if he's on here, my buddy James is wearing shorts. But he wears shorts when it's 10 and sometimes below zero. He's brave. But there will be people in Wisconsin in shorts. We got here. Peter North here, an old adult film star. Hey, thanks for being a part of the show. Love it. We had a snowstorm in our adult film set. I think at that point, Peter, I think you have to change you got to utilize that, right? You utilize that inconvenience and you just make another film. Be like, hey, snowpocalypse, sexpocalypse, whatever. Snow is falling. It's all ending. But one last time. Love it. Love it. Thanks, Peter North. Peter North on the show, in the chat, watching on the tube, man. Fantastic. Brother from another mother, Jeremy, break out the shorts and Hawaiian shirts. I'm telling you, there will be luau's. They'll be grilling out. Not much stops Wisconsinites from grilling out. There's great memes going around on the interwebs right now of people in Texas, like they're, over a balcony and there's an inch of snow on the ground. The end is here. And then you got Wisconsinites in snow drifts, 7-foot snow drifts. We just carve out where the grill was, dust it off a little bit, throw some charcoal on there. How do you like your steak done? I don't care. I do that too. Now I want to have steak. I want to have steak tonight. The tough part is that it gets dark. It still gets dark pretty early. I'll get done with the show, because I'm down here in the basement studio, and it's pretty dark. I got a big Violent Gentleman reap what you sow banner over the window, so it kind of remains this type of lightness. But I'm upstairs, 2:30, 3 o'clock, getting ready to come down and do the show, and it's light. So I'm turning the lights on. I get done here, walk upstairs. I'm like, geez, it's nighttime. Then I get super tired, but But yeah, we have no fear here in Wisconsin. Even when it's super cold. Like last Sunday, we had a wind chill warning, which is something many of you will never have to deal with. Wind chill warning, which means basically the wind chill, which means how the air feels against your skin when you go outside, because there could be a little bit of 5-mile-an-hour breeze or less. And when it's that cold out, it hits your face and it feels like, I think wind chill warning level is 35 to 40 below. 35 to 40 below, I think. We had that. It was like, good day to stay inside. And they're like, but I got to run to the store. But you know what else sounds good? You can pick up some beer, Correct. See, we gotta go Malaysia first. Hot as fuck every day. That's Malaysia. WS is my Malaysian friend who watches the show. It's not quite time. Uncle Jack is on the stream too. He's It has been, there is some out of there, but that's not from today. I promise. Uncle Jack, the first time I got drunk in my entire life, my Uncle Jack was there. Jim Beam and Miller Genuine Draft. And I think some boxed wine was the first time. My cousin Nick was with us. It's no good. It's no bueno. I remember that I was young. I'm not recommending this to anybody. Wait till you're 21. Wait till you're responsible. I was younger, but responsible adults around. And we were just, whatever. And I puked into the couch. You know how like couches have like the seat and the cushion, and then there's the back of the couch, like into it. I puked into the couch. My cousin and I fell asleep on the couch, and I must have into the couch, into it. It's gross, man. It's gross. And my dad picked me up, and he was like, "Are you ever gonna do this again?" Like held me in front of the mirror. I looked like I just died and came back to life. It's my first few seconds of reincarnation. You ever gonna do this again? No. Lying ever since. But yeah. Scotch guard. Yeah, see, that's right. You got to Scotch guard your sofa. That's what you need. Or, stick with one thing, right? Like stick with one thing. Like just, if you're going to drink, like just drink bourbon. Don't drink boxed white Zinfandel, and then have a couple of Miller Genuine Drafts, and then go, it's a good idea. Jim Beam. What is it? Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, never been sicker. Isn't that the old adage? I don't know if that's true. I think you just get to a point. Yeah. That's safe. WS, that's safe. Stick with drinking soda. Well, it's not really good for you either, but at that point, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna have some soda. See, that shit's bad for you though. But you put bourbon in it, and you forget kind of those things. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's all part of human experience. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. Texas, Ted Cruz is under fire in Texas. Senator Ted Cruz is under fire in Texas for traveling to Cancun. Texas is under the deep freeze. They're suffering. There are no heat, no hot water, no electricity in Texas. Ted Cruz goes to Cancun. I think he came back. I think I saw something that said he flew back. I get it that he is a senator from the great state of Texas, the People's Republic of Texas. Yeah, Jim Beam. Joe's on the show. Nothing but Jim Beam. Yeah. I don't know, man. I haven't drank Jim Beam in a long time. Probably since I got drunk on it when I was 15, maybe. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny the age, but it was probably right around then. So anyway, so Ted Cruz goes on vacation during the great winter. The great winter. Winter is coming of 2021 in the state of Texas. Him and his family traveling to Cancun. Now, criticize the man if you'd like. And people will, because that's what we do now. We're like, yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck him and it's going to Cancun. I can't go to Cancun. I'm stuck in my house. I'm assuming that this was probably a planned family vacation, right? Like, dude, maybe they do. Maybe they're just like, yeah, fuck it, we're going. I've never been, I don't live in Texas. It's probably pretty easy to go. Like, yeah, we're going to Cancun. It's like an hour flight out of here, or two. But it's probably a planned trip. Like you have to plan, no matter where you're flying from. If it's from Texas, if it's from Minneapolis, whatever, you got to plan. Like, hey, we're going to go to Cancun. We're going to go from this date to this date. We got our all-inclusive resort. We got our Dancing with the Dolphins, or someone with the Dolphins. Can you dance with them? I don't know. Probably the next TV show on Fox. Dancing with Dolphins. Your favorite celebrities. Yeah. Dolphins hump people, dude. They're aggressive. Google it, man. Don't Google it. Duck, go it. Duck, go that shit. Humans versus dolphins. But you plan you plan your vacation, right? Especially with your family. Because you gotta like, oh, what are you gonna do? Well, I want to go salsa dancing one night. You gotta plan that stuff, right? So you've got a trip planned, and there happens to be what Texas considers the snowpocalypse has happened. And the energy grid goes down. And he went on his vacation. You're right. Yeah. It's bad optic. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I think that's why it's so tough to find good people to be in political office. Because you got to deal with shit like that, you know? You're like, just want to plan a family vacation, you know, been fucking cooped up, and, you know, Ted Cruz been in Washington dealing with all that, and fucking, oh my God. Oh, just give me away. Give me a beach and some snorkel lessons and some fruity drinks coming with the umbrellas. I like the umbrellas. Those are my favorite. That's all I want. Now it's planned from here to here. Good time to get out. And then Texas gets hit with winter, and it doesn't look so good. And it's just insensitive. I had this booked for months. It's trying to get out. Mars isn't open yet, so we got to go to Mexico to have fun. Dolphins. Yeah. Well, they're generous. Yes, there we go. Generous. Dancing with Dolphins. You imagine that? I was telling a story yesterday about in England, they have a TV show. It's about ice figure skating with the stars or something like that. Something along those lines. I think dancing's one thing, but figure skating, it's a whole different ballgame, man. They only had like 19 minutes of footage in a 2-hour show because everybody kept dropping out because they got hurt. It's funny. But Dancing with Dolphins, I don't know. I feel like somewhere in Mexico. Okay. I feel like there's somewhere you could go and you could probably talk to a guy in the alley, you know. I was told that when I was in Mexico. It was, where did you go? Playa del Carmen. We were in Riviera Maya and then went to Playa del Carmen, and the guide on the boat, on the ferry that takes you out to Playa del Carmen is like, just like stay on the main street, right? Like if you see an alley, like don't go in there. Just stay on the main street and you'll be fine. But I bet if you wanted to have some sort of weird experience with a dolphin, that's where you go and ask for that to happen. You go, I'm just going to cruise down this alley really quick, and I'm going to ask a guy about, a little one-on-one time with the Dolphins. Yeah, Miami Dolphins fundraiser event. Dancing with the Dolphins. That's probably what they have to do. They would bill it as something different, but then it'd be like, it's really just the Dolphin football players. Man. Tua. Dancing with Tua. Thinking of the donkey. Yeah, I'm comparing it, Jack, to the to the donkey show. I'm saying, you know where the donkey show is? You know, it's somewhere that's like Baja, right? I'm sure you can get it in mainland, but that's Baja. Like you get below San Diego and you start traveling over the border, you know, you stop in some places. But I'm comparing it to that. Like I'm guessing if you really wanted to have some weird dolphin experience, there's probably a guy that can make that happen. They have guys that make everything happen. Even on the main streets. We were down there, and my brother-in-law and I ended up like going to some of the shops in Tijuana. That's it. Yes. Tijuana. Yes. Not to be confused with the old dance club that was here in town 20, 30 years ago. But so we were just like roaming about like, we're going to go get some like Oakleys, man. Get some Oakley sunglasses. They're not real. They call them Jokeleys. Going to get some Jokeleys. So we're in this like sunglass pop-up tent thing. And the guy was like, oh yeah, I got these ones, and these ones are a little more real. And then they're like, but in the back, this is where the secret sunglass stash is. Okay. This remind you, this is not in the alleyway. Okay. This is not in, don't go down the alleyway. This is like in there, like a little space set up. It's almost like a farmer's market kind of thing, but it's like little shops of all this stuff, knickknacks and scarves. Not that you need a scarf in Mexico, but when you go home, and jewelry and all this other stuff, and then sunglasses and others. But in the back, apparently, in the back is where you can get things that you shouldn't have, that are probably illegal, that are probably what keep that guy in the sunglass hut in business. You want something from the back? I'm like, wow, what's back here? Like, where are the, I don't see any sunglasses back here. This is weird. Oh, no, that's not what they're trying to sell you in the back room. Anything else you want, didn't ask about the dolphin experience because that idea just came to my head now because of Ted Cruz going to Mexico. How does it correlate? Doesn't make any sense. But I'm pretty sure if that's the experience I was looking for, and it wasn't, that would have been the guy to ask, because seemingly he could get his hands on anything that you may have wanted in that little room behind the sunglass hut. I just got sunglasses, straight up. I was like, you know what sounds good? There's $10 pair of Oakleys. No, the $20 one? No, the $10 ones. $10 pair of Oakleys. I don't want anything from the back, yo. Stay out. So yeah, the images of Ted Cruz started circling on Wednesday night with his family at an airport gate with luggage boarding a plane. School was canceled for the week. Girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down there with him last night. I'm flying back this afternoon. So he's back. Went down. Avocados from Mexico. Great ad campaign, by the way. That was genius. Really. And to be honest, that's where I want my avocados to come from. I don't want them to come from anywhere else. Sorry, I probably just pissed off the avocado farmers of, I don't know, wherever. Mississippi or something. But he's back. Ted Cruz is back. Optical illusion avoided. La Farmaceutica. That's I think what it was. I'm pretty sure it was anything, whether it was pharmaceutical and or I don't know, grown in a field or banged into a powdery substance. I'm pretty sure that dude had it. And if he didn't have it, give him 20 minutes and I bet you he would have had it. But Mexico's fun though. A good time down there. Online class. Yeah. My kids got that too. Doing the online learning thing. Virtual learning. I'm like, look at all that you're missing out on. Standing 6 feet away from people. I didn't have that. I had that problem in high school too, though. But I went to 3 different high schools in 4 years. So my problem was people just stood 6 feet away from me because they were like, who's this new kid? But anyway, Ted Cruz is back fighting for the state of Texas. We want our power back on. We want our water back on and our homes warm. Him and his team will continue using all their resources to keep Texans informed and safe. It's weird though, right? It's weird to see, I think, Texans struggle with stuff. Because I have this preconceived notion of like Texans being like bad motherfuckers, right? Like tough as nails, working, guns, all that shit. And then you have some snow and it just crumples. But again, they're not built for this stuff. They're not prepared for this kind of stuff. I had Rick Lambert was on from the band Empty Trail. He was on earlier this week, I think. I don't know, it all runs together. Maybe last week. No, I think it was this week. And he's in Austin, and they had a bunch of snow down there. And he's like, they're just not prepared for any type of weather situation. Obviously, hurricanes, we talk about Houston and stuff like that from a couple of years ago. But with this, up here, we got the plows. We got piles of salt and dirt just randomly throughout in different spots of different cities. Like, oh, we need some salt. We'll go to the salt place, pick up the salt and salt the roads so it doesn't freeze so people can drive. They got to go to work. They probably got one plow in Texas, and that's some guy has that. Guy also has probably 10 Tigers, but he's got a plow. I got to call him. Be like, dude, come and get the roads. Plow this shit. up here. Like, we get mad at plow drivers here. We shouldn't, but we do. You get done shoveling your driveway or snow blowing if you're lucky, and the plow goes by. Leaves like this giant mound at the end of the driveway that you just got done shoveling, especially if you shoveled it. Because then you pick your shovel back up, throw it over your shoulder, and you go back out. And you're like, fuck that guy. But we have a plethora of plows. We're prepared. And things we worry about is, people dying of heart attacks shoveling snow. They have that warning before every winter. It's like file footage. All the local news runs it. It's the same people saying the same shit. Like, don't forget to bend at the knees. Don't live with your back. And if you feel any pain, go inside and call for help. File footage. They run the same thing every year. Like we just haven't noticed, right? Like we haven't heard. Okay. But that's our concern. There's a snowplow coming by and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go shovel the end of the driveway again. Damn it. They're not prepared down in Texas, though. Not prepared. We talked a little bit about the it's not rover, Perseverance there. Well, it is a rover, but it's called Perseverance. And in typical American fashion, Krispy Kreme has launched a Mars donut today in honor of NASA's Perseverance Martian landing. Why wouldn't we? I jump back to the snow thing. The buildings aren't built strong enough to handle much snow on their roofs. That's no good, man. That's no good. Not built like this. Around here, you'll drive to talk about the barn thing, Jack, is you'll have, and you've grew up here, I mean, there's barns that have stood for hundreds of years. And some are still standing. There's they're abandoned out in the field somewhere, and you drive by them and you're like, wow, that's really kind of cool. I wonder what's inside there. Probably maybe some lost treasure. Some of them have collapsed, but I mean, they're 100-plus-year-old barns. They're going to collapse eventually after, that many winters and that much snow piling on top. And yeah, but they need the Amish down there. The Amish build shit, and that never breaks, man. That's what they need. But anyway, so this Krispy Kreme thing it's so typical America. It is so wave the flag. USA, man, this is it. Oh, we're about to colonize Mars, or we're searching for, different sources so we could perhaps have sustainable life on Mars at some point in the long future. And what do we do here in the States? We make a donut. That's what we do. Krispy Kreme, commemorating the historic landing of NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars with a special donut. The Mars donut, clarification, looks like the red planet and will only be available today. So if you're near a Krispy Kreme right now, damn it, stop, go get yourself a Mars Perseverance donut. And while supplies last, so perhaps they're already sold out at a Krispy Kreme near you. It's filled with chocolate cream, dipped in caramel icing with a red swirl, and has chocolate chip cookie crumbs on the top. You'd think red velvet, but no. They went with chocolate cream filled, caramel icing, and a red swirl. Chocolate cookie crumbs on the top. That's how we do it. We got a big event. We make a donut after it. Man. I don't know that there's anything more American than that. There really isn't. Perhaps like a Martian burger. Somebody must have thought of that. Like if you live in a space, maybe like a restaurant or something around, like Cape Canaveral or Houston, wherever they're doing mission control is. I think it's still in Houston, isn't it? NASA? No. Cape Canaveral, Florida. Cape Canaveral Air Force Base in Florida. So around there, I bet you. Because they're probably super duper into it, like super aware of what's going on. You bet that some mom and pop burger joint that probably makes fantastic burgers. Now I want a burger, damn it. Steak, burgers, I don't know, but it's going to be on the grill. That's all I know. Should pull out some meat during one of the breaks here. Make sure we got a hamburger. But you know they made like a Martian burger, right? Right? I mean, you gotta. We're celebrating an historic event. Fifth rover land on Mars, most technologically advanced rover. We're gonna make a burger after it. Call it the Martian burger. What would be on the Martian burger? I wonder. Probably weird stuff. Don't you think? Because when you think Martian, you necessarily don't. Does your mind not go to like some weird alien-looking creature? You know, maybe your typical alien-looking creature. Feels like it does. I don't know. But we made a donut. Of course we did. Of course we made a donut. What else would we do? Like nobody's making a Martian salad, right? Yeah. Keto friendly. Eesh. Crazy. Craziness going on in the world. This is interesting. Talking about Martians and UFOs and landing on Mars, living amongst the other planets outside of our own, because who knows how much time we have left. So this, where does this come from? BroBible.com. Mysterious UFO sighting on live French TV broadcast triggers alien concerns on the internet. And this was from 2 days ago. So this is from Tuesday morning. As if we needed more proof regarding the existence of aliens. And we don't, because there's a quadrillion of them in space, right? We know that. UFO showing up in the background of live French television broadcasts. The mysterious UFO sighting occurred this past week during a news segment on RT France. As the news anchor was speaking to a Russian correspondent, a UFO was spotted flying across the screen in the background before vanishing. The odd footage quickly went viral, receiving thousands of views and numerous comments on the social media. Prominent UFO and alien expert Scott Waring. It'd be really cool if his name was Warning. Scott Waring says he was among those who viewed the footage and provided the following analysis. If you watch this RT news broadcast, you will notice two dark oval objects. No, there's two of them now. Maybe they're conducting some sort of training thing like Top Gun, right? Think they do that? I bet they do. I bet they got their own version of, Maverick and Goose up there. Goose, rest in peace. They just like, we gotta go fly some training missions out. Like Top Gun, Top UFO. But for them, it's not a UFO because it's just their flying object. It's their thing. So there's two of them flying so close, they're almost stacked on one another, moving incredibly fast. And he put it into slow motion at the end of the video to see them better. No sound, only 15 seconds of no sound, and didn't want to add commentary. But honestly, it looks like aliens are trying to show up on the news. This apparently has happened before. Not last August, a strange UFO was caught on camera near Area 51 during an NBC World News broadcast. Oh, yeah. You got the video up here. Look up if you want to hear the story, look at BroBible.com. Maybe we'll try to throw the link up here in the notes if I can make that happen. And that's the video footage. I don't know, but they have a still. They have a still of the video with the two seemingly alien crafts in the background. They look a little bit like X-Wings. Star Wars coming to life. But obviously the reporter who is amidst the conversation, it always happens. It happens to me when I put up like the YouTube video of this show or clips of the show. It always has like the worst. And trust me, it doesn't get much better than this. This is not, but it always has like the worst facial expressions. Always like I was thinking something. It never finds the good one. She's probably pissed that this is the picture that happens to have the aliens in it because she's like pissed. Interrupting me, trying to tell a great story. Aliens are showing up. I don't know. It's crazy. There's some other alien stuff that I was reading. It's from the Daily Mail. A Harvard professor, which gives him credibility. You got Jack. I feel the need for speed. Ow! Great movie. They're making it like Top Gun, Maverick. I think they pushed that back too. I think that's not coming out until 2022 now. It's weird. It's super weird. And I'm going to blame Scientology, which may get this show pulled off of the interweb. But the fact that you've seen Tom Cruise, you saw Tom Cruise obviously in the original Top Gun, and obviously other great films throughout his career. But then they show him side to side, the 87, 86, 87 Top Gun Tom Cruise, and then the 2020 Top Gun Tom Cruise. I don't know what kind of magic potion they sell inside the doors of Scientology, or the Church of Scientology. But it's fucking magical. That's what it is. That dude might look younger now than he did back in the 80s during the original Top Gun. How does it happen? How does it work? It's got enough money. He can just, I don't know. Because some people have a lot of money and they try to do things to make them look younger. And you can tell for real, in a bad way. Tom Cruise just looks like, I don't know. He's just looks younger. It's wild. Anyway, Scientology. Probably shouldn't say that too many times. They probably flagged that. What can you do? So Harvard professor says it's a folly to discount extraterrestrial life. This is from the Daily Mail. This came out also on Tuesday. A quarter of all known stars in the universe are thought to host a perfect planet. Basically meaning ones that are the same size and temperature of Earth. There's approximately a zeta of them. That is a trillion billions, or a 1 with 21 zeros after it. That's how many of these perfect planets exist in the known universe. And I emphasize that because I was talking about galaxies and stuff before. We talked about Mars. That's just what we know. We haven't seen the end because it maybe doesn't exist. It's possibly infinite. But I digress. There are I want to say this again, just so it sinks into the skull a little bit. There are a trillion billions of perfect planets, the same size and temperature of Earth, in the known universe. That's a lot. 21 zeros after the 1. So this is according to this Harvard professor. It's preposterous for us to assume we are the only intelligent beings in the vast cosmos. In fact, to imagine we humans are alone in space is not merely arrogant, it's also scientific nonsense. Been saying it all along. Aliens are real, and I just want to see them. Like, I'm past the point of having fear. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I think the scene in Fire in the Sky, remember Fire in the Sky was a movie about that Travis, I can't remember his last name, but the real life story of the guy who was abducted by aliens. He's still telling the same story to this day. So there's a scene in that movie when he's up actually in the alien spacecraft and they're doing like some weird tests and he's in this thing and he's like, it's really fucking super scary. He's like, well, they just did that. He doesn't remember that being part of it. Hollywood added that in for effect to put us in fear of the aliens is why they did it. Make us scared. So, because you kind of have to, right? You kind of have to put us in this fear-based, like, if they come down, but if they have the capabilities, this is my opinion, if they have the capabilities of traveling millions of light years from galaxies far beyond what we can even see, and they come here, clearly they are well advanced species, well beyond where we are. I mean, we're already have cyborg as we sit today. And if you don't believe it, you are. It just detached from you, but not always. But they travel all this way. So they are super intelligent. Created the means and the ways to bend space and time, perhaps. And they come here to our little planet, one that we're trying to escape. They look at us like, what's the old ants roaming about the anthill, just like, just observing what we're doing. Obviously, they're not vengeful because they can just be like, they're not doing it right. You know, but they're just checking us out, like looking at us like, wonder what are they going to do next? Like, wow, they got this thing. They haven't figured this out yet. Maybe they're laughing. You know, maybe it's like bad comedy sitcoms. Like, whoa. And perhaps because they've had like similar experiences in their existence, like, reminds me of this event that happened. Remember when we lost Joe? It was horrible, but we figured it out. We're just running around like morons. Like, we don't know what to do. They're probably just laughing at us. So he goes on to say, Earth cannot possibly be the only planet that supports life. Even in our own galaxy, the Milky Way is about a quarter of the 200 billion stars orbited by planets with the right conditions, liquid and water, and thus the chemistry of life as we know it. I believe it. And I sure as shit didn't go to Harvard. This guy went to Harvard and he believes it. But people need like physical evidence. They need physical proof. Like we need to see it. We need to know it and know what's happening. See the aliens. See them. But if you just simply, even with his very, very gaudy numbers, but he lays it out in a very like simplistic way. So like I can understand it. And I'm just passing along to you the way I would understand it. He's saying it's not just arrogant to think that we're the only ones, the only species in space, but it's scientific nonsense. That guy went to Harvard. He knows more than I do. Might know more than you do. So I'm just saying, aliens are real. And that's all there is to it. Great article, Daily Mail. Go and read that one. We got a lot more to get to on the program today. Thank you all for hanging out and great commentary so far in the comments. Remember, if you're just joining us, whatever platform that you're watching on, by platform, I mean if you're on Facebook Live or if you're on YouTube, if you're on the Twitch, jump on. Feel free. Jump in the comments. We're just going to kind of talk random shit for the next hour or so. And then Jesse Dupree from Jackyl and American Jesse James, American Outlaw, Bourbon Whiskey is going to be on. He'll probably make me do some drinking of that. So it's fitting after a day like today. So that is all going to be coming up in the next hour. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back. Until then, share the show wherever you are. Share it so we can get more people into the comments. So have a great conversation coming up right after this. And we're back. Thank you all for hanging out in wherever you're watching. Thank you. Bless you. Appreciate you. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. Just share the Twitch link on Facebook if you want to switch over and watch on the Twitch app. Otherwise, twitch.tv/NoLimitCooper. That's how we do in our thing. Also to all the YouTube watchers. There you go. Matt did. Attaboy. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. As we get through our Thursday show. Really cool. I want to go back and just double check on this. Peter North, like the Peter North, was on the show. Old adult film star. Like, Peter, if you're still on here, man, let's connect. I want to have you on the show at some point. Let's get you on the show. You got today and tomorrow, because after that, big question marks about what's going to happen after that. But maybe this will save this program. Because as I've talked about, this has become an 8-hour-a-day hobby, and apparently hobbies don't pay the bills. So we'll see. But maybe they will. Check this out. So YouTube has announced, for all you watching on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, all that stuff. Grow the empire. So one of the best features, YouTube features for creators looking to get paid, is the super chat. According to the online video giant, YouTube will soon expand ways for YouTubers to monetize their content. It's a brand new applause feature. So basically, here's what it is. So if you're watching on YouTube and you want to throw some, for some reason you find this so compelling, you're like, I would like to say thank you to that fella. You can applause with this new feature, and then it will, like, I don't know, send me money. Hopefully it's not a check, just like direct deposit that shit. So this is actually what they're building this for, is because there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, a lot of channels on a lot of platforms that are monetized. So you tune in and you'd watch an ad, and whoever is the creator behind that program, that stream, gets some of that ad revenue. So you get paid by those ads, monetizing your platform. What this is for, this super chat feature that YouTube is talking about implementing, is so like people like me who are really just getting started in this whole live stream, YouTuber, Twitch streamer, Facebook liver. Is that a thing? Is it Facebook? I don't know what the hell it's called. I don't know. Whatever. That you can still find ways to monetize what you're doing. You know, people have an understanding that doing a show like this and contacting guests and all that, I mean, that takes time, that takes effort. And really, I could be doing other, probably more important things, solving world hunger, or, I don't know, cleaning up bird poop. I mean, I could be doing these kind of things and making money, but I prefer talking to you. So here we are, at least for the next 2 days. So what they're doing is setting up this super chat thing and the applaud button. You know, if you're watching on YouTube right now, probably have like a like and a dislike and some bunch of stuff down here on your screen. So they'd add this applaud thing down there, and if you applauded, you could say, I want to throw this person $5 or $10 or, you know, $1 million, whatever. Maybe you got, you know, maybe Peter North is on your thing, and you're like, Peter, throw some money in my show. You'll be able to do that, and therefore small time streamers, as they continue to grow their following, would be able to at least monetize and make some income for dedicating themselves to doing a live stream and entertaining y'all with great things like, I don't know, alien talk. So it's going to change. However, that's going to change. They're talking about this isn't available right now. And it's only available if you do live streaming. So if you like have a video that you create and you upload, you can't like donate to them. You have to be doing live stream. And then if somebody's watching it, you can hit the applaud thing and send money. But this super chat feature and the applause feature is currently being tested and will be rolled out to creators later this year. So to answer your question, Matt 12346, Matt H 12346, Matt Hatley, brother from another mother. No, not today. It's not currently available as an option, but it will be. So at least for future streamers, for those who are maybe just getting started or looking at starting something like what I do or what other people do, having guests on, streaming your video games, maybe being more niche. So you have like a specific topic that you come on and talk about. It's a great thing because it's going to be coming down the pike here. They're testing it now, but hopefully later this year that'll be a thing. Yeah, I would, Fef, like, dude, I would hope so. You know, it should be a thing. But as of right now, how it's really all constructed is you have to have so many people that are watching and so many streams. And we had a big number the other day, several hundred people joined in and were watching our YouTube channel on Tuesday or Monday, I think. We had Kyle Pfeiffer on from Blacklight District and a couple of the great guests. That's when I believe Rick Lambert was on, Dr. J was on. So we had a lot of people on there, but when you look at the streaming numbers, they're just insane how many people on there. There's a guy that I follow him on Facebook. I know he's got a YouTube channel, and I think he does Twitch too. I'm not sure. But all he does is talk about the Packers, like randomly, sporadically. There's not like a set schedule. Like this show currently is, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, and we do it every day. And we talk about whatever the day's topics are, and we have as many guests as we can get on. Dude's got like 80,000 followers, and all he talks about is the Packers. And I think he's got some like other Wisconsin-based sports stuff, but that's niche. So that's you're talking about a certain frame of things. What I wanted to do, what I am currently doing, is talking about everything. Like I could really do a show on aliens. I could do a show on whatever, but I just want to talk about everything because I feel like that's how people talk. People have conversations. We just went off on a tangent about this one time in Mexico. We had a conversation about dancing with dolphins and then finding ways to do inappropriate things with dolphins. This show just kind of takes on life of its own. It can go wherever it wants to go. It's got ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and But at least I applaud. See, you applaud. I applaud YouTube for understanding that it's a real challenge to grow a channel rapidly, to where you get to a point where you can be like, hey, I'm making enough money to be able to support this habit, this addiction. Now there's a way for, in the interim, when you're just getting started, and as you grow, as your numbers go up, and as you get to an affiliate, or you get to where you're making some, there's monetization that's happening on your platform, you can have something. At least the handful of people, or however many are watching on the different platforms right now, can say, hey, I enjoy this and I want to keep this going. I could support it. But currently, unfortunately, that's not an option. So, but for future streamers, keep an eye on that. Start to build that content, start to put your pieces together, and, lay the groundwork, grow your audience. And then when applause hits, ask them for support. I'd have to do like a PayPal.me or a GoFund.me, but then they take a certain percentage, and it's like, wow, it's weird. Doesn't make any sense. But so that's going on in the world of YouTube. So kudos to them for really embracing the fact that this kind of this is really going to be a bigger thing. I know there's some people on that, like, oh, it's cool, it's new. Like, this is going to be huge. I mean, you talk about the big move from like cable and network television to streaming services. People are finding different outlets, and when you have different places to go with your content, and you have people that, have a voice and have a space and want to do stuff and have connections, and they want to have guests on, and they streaming, man, I'm telling you. You know who knows all about streaming? My dude Fade. He knows all about the streaming right there. He's jumping on the Twitch, getting those Twitch numbers up, getting me to affiliate. Make me that 15 cents on the spot for people that are watching, man. Good to see you, Fade. I hope you're well, brother. Hope you're well. Miss your face. Be seeing you soon. Yeah. Dude. Yeah, boo-boo. We own it. What else is going on? So that's the YouTube side of things. Fade would know this. Fade, I think there's a way. Is it subscribing on Twitch? Is there some form of monetary exchange that happens on Twitch? I was just talking about, if you just jumping in about YouTube, for those who are streaming live on YouTube, they're adding in this applaud feature where you could then, if you're just watching somebody who doesn't have 80,000, 100,000, 200,000 people watching that stream, you could like say, hey, I want to applaud and give you $5, $10, whatever. I don't think there's no actual, I believe it said that in the story. But you could really give as much as you want. So that's happening on YouTube. Twitch has 3 tiers to subscribe as. You can get donations as well. Yeah. Anybody feel free. Jump on Twitch and donate to the show. Because the gas tank is running on how right before the gas light in your vehicle goes off, you hear that beep and you look down, you're like, oh shit, I gotta get some gas. And you're riding that line, maybe you're riding it for like a little too long, and you're like, is this gonna be the day? And then the light's coming on. The gasoline light is coming on, like, you need to fill me up. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't like to talk to people. It's not happening. Buy bits, Twitch currency. Yeah. Can I pay my cell phone bill in Twitch currency? That's the question. I gotta know. No, I don't think so. Oh man, crazy things going on in the world. Again, if you're tuning in, coming up later on in the show, Jesse Dupree from Jackyl is going to be on also. And I feel like he should be paying me for this. Also, fine purveyors of Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey. Jesse is going to be on the show. I'm sure we'll have a drink while he's on. It's Thirsty Thursday. So there you go. What we got here? I'm going to get your Twitch payout directly deposited. Yeah. Got to get there, man. That's the thing. I've got like an ungodly amount of hours streamed. It's just fucking insane. Maybe not insane. Like I said, this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's 10 days, 10 streams times the 30 hours in 2 weeks. Plus, I had a couple of live stream podcasts before that. So it's like something's like you need 7 hours. I'm like, 40. It's just it's getting people to watch on the Twitch, and then the money rolls in, bro. Then I just start, wearing chains and shit, wearing the gold to get my grill done. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, what else is going on? Luke Combs, country artist. Y'all know Luke Combs. And I knew this before. And this is weird because it's actually thanks to Fade and my cousin Nick out in California, who he's like, you ever heard of Upchurch? And I was like, no, never heard of Upchurch before. So I, found some Upchurch music. And Upchurch is like a Alabama Southern rapper, white dude. Talks about stuff that he can relate to down in Alabama, growing up in the sticks. He stays in the sticks with the hicks and the firearms, as he says. Out in the holler. He's out in the holler. He is down in the holler. So anyway, there was a song called "Can I Get an Outlaw" that Eric Church did with Luke Combs back in the day. When was this? 2015. So not really back in the day, but like 6 years ago. But really was before Luke Combs became like the biggest act in all of country music. Biggest. Like, he's the guy right now. And in the video, and again, Upchurch is he's known, but he's kind of underground, under the radar, doing his thing, being him. So Can I Get an Outlaw? He did a combination song with Luke Combs on this. And there happened to be in this video a Confederate flag. Okay. And so this video is obviously out there, and like nobody's really ever, people have seen it, but like mainstream people probably have never seen it or heard the song before. Because Luke Combs actually did Can I Get an Outlaw as a single, as his own song without Upchurch on it, but I digress. So this video has, there's a Confederate flag, and I think there's like a sticker on somebody's car or something. I don't know, like maybe it's driving by. Like, it's not the General Lee. Like, like, oh my gosh. So anyway, so in this video, there's the Confederate flag. So these comments came from Luke Combs on Wednesday during a conversation about accountability and the future of country music, where Maren Morris and moderator Ann Powers, who works for the American Country, or at the American Annual Country Radio Seminar, not the American Country Radio Seminar, the ARS. So they talked about this, and Luke Combs came and spoke and apologized for the fact that in this video he was with, which is really somebody else's song. And so he had to come and apologize for it, because they're doing some sensitivity training in country music, thanks to Morgan Wallen. Yeah, pretty wild. So 6 years ago. Ariel, I'm doing well. I am as right as the mail. I'm here. I'm excited to talk to Jesse in we got here about 40 minutes. Jesse Dupree is going to join the program. No, we're good though. We're good. I was actually I was lucky enough last night. My buddy Steve Virginia, who manages Jessly, country artist down in Nashville, has this every Wednesday. They have this Clubhouse, the new Clubhouse app, which I've talked about here. If you don't know it, if you join, if you have to have an Apple, you have to have an iPhone. It's only available on iPhone right now. It's really just in beta, because it's not. Nobody just releases things unless it's Apple. Nobody just releases something for Apple. They say, "We'll build it in Apple. We'll figure out the Android device, and then they release it to the public in mass." But so right now it's only available on iOS. It's audio based social media, so you can join, but you have to be invited. So you can download the app, and then somebody that you know has to have full access. It has to be invited, and then they can invite you, and then you can join Clubhouse and be a Clubhouse member. I'm not sure. It's exclusive, man. It's totally exclusive. So anyway, Steve Virginia has a great conversation last night, has every Wednesday, about women in country music. Some great up and coming artists on there. Big Vinnie Mac was in there too last night. Big Vinnie Mac was in there, who was great artist. He was on Biggest Loser, I think, too. So he was in there talking about it. but there's just a lot of it's good. A lot of good conversations are happening. And this was kind of the premise of like this program, was to have some really super fun conversations with guys like Jesse. And, like we had Rachel Loren on yesterday. I can't thank her enough. She blew things up on her social medias for the show. It was awesome. But then we had Jonathan Wickman on yesterday too, who was running for governor of the state of Wisconsin in 2022. And again, this is a platform for people to talk, to have discussion, to be like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Like open form, long form conversation. Pretty simple. And my aunt gave me a mad face because I posted that I had Jonathan Wickman on, and she gave me like a mad face emoji. I'm like, just talking to the dude, man. I'm just talking to the guy. Listen to what he has to say. That's what we need to be doing. That's what's happening, obviously, in the world of country music. They're having these open dialogues, which is great. Mad face. Like, some people are going to, you have to talk. Therein lies the problem, I think. Nobody is willing to have the conversation. We gotta have the conversations in order to make things better. I'm not auditioning for any singing shows, obviously, anytime soon. So you have that. But so that's going on. That's happening. What's fun? What's fun that's happening? We talked, actually, this comes into yesterday's conversation a little bit, because I was talking to Jonathan Wickman about, the legalization of marijuana and cannabis in the state of Wisconsin. Obviously, there's a lot of states surrounding us, namely Illinois, right to the south, and Michigan too. So a little further drive, unless you live way up north, go to the UP and do whatever the hell you want. Legal up there. So we were kind of talking about, legalization. Governor Evers had put something out about legalization, and just how to roll that out. How does it look? Is it medical first? Is it recreational? And I would do some research. Like, what do we need to know? Like, we had the conversation, which is about. And the one thing that he talked about is that what he didn't want to see happen, and I think this is an agreeable point. So no more mad fucking faces, all right? Is that what you don't want to have happen is say Wisconsin does go and legalizes recreational marijuana, okay? And we have the land, and we have the infrastructure, thanks to guys like Everything Hemp has kind of laid some of these things down already. They've laid the groundwork, because we have some legalization as far as CBD stuff and growing and farms, and so we kind of have the infrastructure kind of set, kind of getting there, right? So what he doesn't want to see happen, and I don't think anybody wants to see happen, is have a major brand or big pharma come in and then take control of, buy up land, buy up property, buy up farms, and all of a sudden, all this money that could, in theory, be flushed back into the Wisconsin economy or in the state's economy ends up being revenue generated by X brand or by big pharma that comes in and says, oh, we're going to be the leaders in the medical part of it, or we're going to be leaders in the recreational part of it. I was reading a story about, this is Lucky Strike. Remember Lucky Strikes? That was like, you were badass if you smoked Lucky Strikes back in the day. You rolled them up in your sleeve, There's your pack of Lucky Strikes there. So Lucky Strike is looking to get into the cannabis industry, because obviously there's the big push against tobacco, big tobacco. So what can they get into, since obviously those numbers are dropping? Even though you look at a pack of smokes, I think I like to read the signs, because I used to be a smoker. I smoked for a long time, quit right when I found out I was going to be a dad. So they're like $9 a pack. And you're like, well, the tobacco company's got to be doing good, because there's still people that smoke. That's tax money, people. That is tax. Pack of smokes is still probably, what was it, Matt, back in our day? It was like $1.98 for a pack of smokes. Now it's like $8. It's all tax money. So the tobacco companies are looking for something else to get into. And so a brand like Lucky Strike is looking, and I think Marlboro, Philip Morris was looking to get into it too, where they could it's get the hemp, buy the land, produce it, just like we do tobacco, roll it into a cigarette looking thing, little joint pack, boom, run the game. But then whenever, like that local economy, small farmers, they suffer. Money doesn't stay local. It goes somewhere else. So lot of conversation yesterday, and I actually clipped that video and posted that on YouTube. It's on my Twitch, and it's also, I shared it on Facebook. This is the cannabis conversation we had from yesterday, because the legalization process, what it means for state revenue, if you have local farmers doing the right thing. Mike Hansen, my buddy Mike Hansen from Everything Hemp, doing it the right way, laying the groundwork for many years and investing. And hopefully it's guys like him that reap the benefits should there be a legalization thing, which again has been thrown out now by both sides. So now it's just cutting through the bullshit to make it happen. And again, I don't smoke. The craziest I get is like a good cigar. Sometimes a shitty cigar. Actually, most of the time a shitty cigar. But man, go wild, like $10. Get a nice, man. That's about as extreme as I get when it comes to smoking stuff. But I'm all for it. I'm all for it. In the medical field, I mean, the follow the science. Yeah, follow the fucking science. It's amazing health benefits for those who are suffering constant pain, chronic pain, seizures, Alzheimer's, cancer. Amazing in the medical field. And if this is going to be fine, then pot should be fine too. And you do the same thing. You tax it and you fix the fucking roads, man. You fix the fucking roads. You can't do it right now. You get like 3 months to fix roads here in Wisconsin. But other things, state programs, all the shit you want to work on, make it better. Boom, infrastructure. Boom. I can't remember the number, and I'm not going to say. It was something in the millions, double-digit millions of dollars going from Wisconsin down to Illinois because they have legal recreational marijuana. Imagine those millions of dollars put to work here in the great state of Wisconsin. And if you're in a state that's legal, hopefully, I mean, you have to have noticed the benefits, right? Like you have to have noticed where that tax money is going. I know it's tough. It's tough to, I mean, they're having issues in California with like people are still doing it illegally because they don't want to pay the tax on it. I get it. There's still going to be criminals that try to do it and skirt around having it taxed. There was a documentary on it that I watched about people were trying to deny the proposition that was going to make marijuana legal because they're like, we don't make money as much money that way because the government takes some. If you're growing it, you're like, sell it to the government, or you sell it yourself and the government takes your tax, you pay taxes on it. But that's how it works. So you have to figure that out, and hopefully people are figuring it out because you don't want, this Lucky Strike story. Lucky Strike, British American Tobacco is obviously the parent company, like Philip Morris is the parent company of Marlboro, are looking carefully at the cannabis trend. They're interested in selling cannabis products. Big company comes in, takes out small farmer who's doing it the right way, profits, and probably less quality product. I mean, it's usually what happens when you try to mass produce something instead of mom and pop, shops around, mom and pop farms, growing hemp, doing it the right way. Instead of that, you have big corporations coming in and just fucking it all up. Pretty sure that's happened multiple times in our history. Pretty sure. We're about a half hour away from Jesse James Dupree from Jackyl and American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey. He's going to be joining the program here in just a bit. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, apparently it could be possibly in consideration a presidential run in 2024. There was and this is from Fox News, but the story's all over the place. So don't just think I went there for my story. We'll get more angry faces. Yeah, throw this up here quick. Grow local. I got it. Patent that shit, Matt. Patent it. Get the trademark on that. Trademark office. So according to this story, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson still open to diving into politics. This was during a 2017 appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He said that he was seriously considering a run for president. Nowadays, he's further alluding to a possible run with his new sitcom Young Rock, which chronicles his younger years. According to USA Today, each episode of the show features the star in mock interviews during a 2032 run for office. So the show is based around that. Despite having years worth of projects lined up in Hollywood, the star still hasn't ruled out vying for the Oval Office. He says, and I quote, "I would consider a presidential run in the future if that's what the people wanted." He's the people's champion. Yeah. Wrestling? Anybody? Yeah. People's elbow. Drop the people's elbow on Putin. That's what he would do. He goes on to say, quote, "I truly mean that, and I'm not flippant in any way with my answer. That would be up to the people. So I would wait and I would listen." End quote. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Possibility. That is out there. 48 years old. I mean, really. I mean, it's like age is a number now. Like, does it even matter? Like, what's Biden? Like 80? 80 something? I don't know. It's a little scary. Like, dude falls asleep. That was a big story that came out the other day. Like, the new rules of the White House, the new things happening in the White House, like early bedtime. Get the senior discount. Early bedtime. Yeah, you think 8 years, huh? Yeah, do you? You sure? I feel like that puts him about 90. I'm a little iffy. I think there's a plan. I think there's a plan. There's a plan in place, people. Yeah. But I digress. Oh, this story came out a couple of days ago on Valentine's Day. So it came out on Sunday. And I remember hearing about it, and I was like, I want to talk about that on the show. And then we had a lot of guests this week, and I was just like, yeah, I'll wait till I have some prime opportune time to talk to just, you and me and the people. You, me, the people. A suspect is dead. This is CNN. A suspect is dead after 12-year-old shoots intruder during an armed robbery attempt. Yes. Goldsboro, North Carolina, where this happened. 12-year-old shot at two masked intruders who broke into his grandmother's home just before 1 a.m. on Saturday, according to police in Goldsboro, North Carolina. The intruders had demanded money from a 73-year-old Linda Ellis and subsequently shot her. The police said in a statement posted on the Goldsboro Police Department Facebook page. Police said the juvenile fired in self-defense at the suspects, who then fled. Officers found one of the suspects, a 19-year-old, at an intersection near the home, suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. Preliminary evidence suggests that he was one of the two masked intruders who was shot during the robbery. Both the grandmother and the suspect transported to the hospital for treatment. The 19-year-old would later pronounced dead. So the gunman, or the robber, died. Right? I just want to make sure I got the names right here. Yes, because the Ellis was the grandmother, treated for injuries that were non-life-threatening, and is currently listed in stable condition. Charges against the 12-year-old boy, are not anticipated, according to the police. So, let's peel back the layers here. Kid, 12-year-old, at his grandmother's house in Goldsboro, North Carolina. It's 1 a.m. Saturday morning. Okay. Two masked robbers enter the home, demand money from the elder 73-year-old grandmother. It doesn't really say if they got any money from her. So this is going on. Imagine this. You got a robber. Say they're in the kitchen. I don't know where they were. Living room, kitchen, bedroom, whatever. Two dudes in masks. 73-year-old grandmother. Two dudes in masks asking for money. Give me your money. 12-year-old with the wherewithal to go, fuck this. Pow, pow. Or pew, pew, as they say in Star Wars. Obviously, that makes the dudes flee. Probably dark in the house, I'm guessing. Shots coming from somewhere. Like, we're out of here. We're out. We're out. We're leaving. We're out. Later on, the dude's found at an intersection, dies later on. 12-year-old likely saving his grandmother's life during a home intrusion. Now, no charges anticipated against there fucking better not be. You want to call down the thunder? Now we're going to charge this kid. Wait, two assholes broke into my grandmother's house, shot her, and you're going to charge me because I defended my home? Yeah, super brave. Imagine that. If it was me, I'd be like hiding under the bed at 12 years old. No. Dude finds gun, shoots the intruders, and they flee. One dies. That scenario could have gone very differently. Imagine there isn't a firearm in the house. Bad guys have firearms. Does it make any fucking sense yet? Some it don't. Some like, well, maybe he could have used his words. Yeah. So bad guys have guns. And you want this 12-year-old kid, after watching his grandmother get shot, use his words to talk them out of further harming his grandmother and potentially himself. I'm interested to see how that case would have turned out. I imagine you probably wouldn't have heard about the story in the same way. You would have heard about one, potentially two, deceased people in their own home and suspects on the loose. Tough to weigh the balance, isn't it? Questionable. You used your words, kid. Could have used your words, but here you are dead. No, he's not. Because at some point during that child's life, somebody taught him how to use a firearm. Perhaps for hunting, perhaps in need of self-defense. And just looking at a picture of the home, looks like it's a home that looks like a lot of the homes around it, probably low income. So probably was taught. So he knew how to defend himself. Because I'm guessing some shit like that happened more than once. And he was taught, in case of emergency, seems like this was an emergency situation, here's what we need to do. Here are the things you need to do for survival, safety, protection. Protect your grandmother, 73 years old. Was already shot. Kid takes care of business, man. Did what he had to do. Kid deserves a fucking award. For real. Like, right? I clap for that. I clap for that boy too. Imagine that. 12. Again, earlier you pointed it out. 12. Nick, yes. Good for that kid. You're the reason I'm here, by the way. Thank you. 12. We get that? 12 years old. With the bravery and the balls, the confidence. I'm sure there was some fear, but clearly he had the ability to overcome said fear and be able to say, I'm going to do the right thing and save my life and my grandmother's life and get rid of these two assholes. Pew pew. And he did. Many people much older than 12 would not have handled themselves nearly as well. Not even close. Grandma would have been done. I'm just making a visual guess here. They probably didn't have a shitload of money that these two robbers were looking for. Maybe they didn't want much, whatever. Give me what you got. $20 in some earrings, man. But anybody, I mean, tough to be in that position for a lot of people and do what that 12-year-old boy did. And he's lucky, blessed. Thank God for the Second Amendment. Otherwise, they're not here anymore because the bad guy is still going to have guns. And we need to understand that. Like, well, we're going to make some laws. There's a reason criminals are criminals, because they don't really follow the laws, man. They don't. But I saw that story and I was like, I got to talk about that. I mean, that's kudos to him. And thankfully, his grandmother is okay, recovering, stable condition, according to the report. This was as of Sunday. Man. Well, this would never happen. Maybe it wouldn't happen. What if that family was like, well, maybe it won't happen. So we don't have to concern ourselves. If it does happen, it probably won't happen. They live in a world of reality where it could happen. It did happen, and they were prepared. Imagine that. Yeah. The intruder shot the grandma. I would have shot him too. Who is this? The great uncle of the juvenile, Randolph Bunn, said the intruder just shot his grandma, and he would have shot him too. He would have shot me too. He would have killed us all. So apparently the uncle was in here too. I didn't get to quite to that part of the story. Yeah. Crazy. Imagine that. Fearless 12-year-old doing the right thing. Now, again, to protect two people. I didn't read that his great uncle was also in the house. So 2 elderly people in the house, and the 12-year-old. The 12-year-old is the one who saves them. Craziness. It's an interesting story from Vice. Mom was arrested, and this was in Ohio. Mom was arrested for leaving her kids to go to work at Little Caesars. A GoFundMe for the 24-year-old mother, Shania Bell, has pulled in more than $50,000 as of Tuesday morning. So this mother, I want to say that her child was a little bit older. It's not like leaving a baby at home or something like that. 10-year-old. Okay. So this woman in Ohio has a job, works at Little Caesars, makes pizza, maybe delivers them, maybe works at the counter. Doesn't matter. She's working. She's got a job, doing what she needs to do, and parenting. Kudos to her. So she was arrested on charges of child endangerment for allegedly leaving her young kids in a motel room while she tried to go to her job at Little Caesars. And people have rallied to her support. A GoFundMe for the 24-year-old mother garnered more than $50,000 in donations as of Tuesday morning. Again, the fundraiser describes Belle as a single mom with 3 children who needs permanent and safe housing. So she's staying in a hotel. She's trying to work. Has to leave her kids alone. Trying to figure out, see where they say how old the kids are. I saw one was 10. So according to WFMJ-TV, her 10-year-old told police that Belle was at work, likely be back by 10 p.m. This was shortly after 6. According to Belle, the mother, she told the officers that typically she has someone check on the children every hour. So every hour, these kids are in this hotel room, and somebody comes to check on them. You guys okay? You good? Need some food? Want some pizza? Whatever. So she can work. And, childcare is fucking expensive. Babysitters are making like much more than they made back when I was younger. Like, yeah, what do you mean? Like $5? You mean like $5? Yeah. They're making bank, man. They got their own apps now. But they have an app, their app for babysitters. I want you to be all these things, and I charge $27 an hour. That means I have to make double that an hour in order to make this worth the effort. Simple math. But the story obviously went viral. Mother trying to work, has temporary housing, 3 kids being checked on every hour. Somebody calls the police. These 3 kids are being left alone. Police take the mother into custody. She faces 6 months in jail and fines of up to $1,000 for endangering her children. First degree misdemeanor. Story goes viral. Someone sets up a GoFundMe, and there's $50,000 in there as of Tuesday morning. I'm sure there's more at this point. And this is Ohio. I'm not sure what Ohio's schooling is right now. And obviously, this story happened at night, but if you got kids that aren't in school, and again, we talked about charge for childcare. Maybe you don't have a parent around. None of that shit. No. So what are you going to do? You have to be there for the kids during the day so they can do their schooling if they're learning virtual or whatever. You have to work at some point in order to feed them. I'm sure there's a lot of Little Caesars pizza coming home. But okay, you're 10. I think I was like a latchkey kid. I'm pretty sure before I was 10. I'm sure my mom's on your mom. I'm sure it was before I was 10. Get off the bus, had the key around my neck, wore it on like a necklace, like a chain. Like I was in House of Pain. Go in, lock the door, stay inside till I get home. Pretty sure I was younger than 10. Had to do it by myself. So these kids have to, and in a tough situation, have to kind of fend for themselves for a couple hours. They have people checking on them. Somebody's like, I don't think that's right. Calls the cops. Luckily, there are sympathetic people in the world that can say, that's fucked up. Got to find a way to make that better. And again, as of Tuesday, more than $50,000 in donations for her cause. Mother in Ohio. Great story. I mean, shitty, but again, it shows good people will call that out and be like, that's bullshit. How can we help? And people will come and help others, which is really what makes the world go around, right? We are about 10 minutes away from Jesse James Dupree from Jackyl and Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey and the Full Throttle Saloon and Devil's Spirits and a plethora of other things. Going to be joining the show coming up at 5 o'clock. So we will take, and thank you to all of you. A lot of great comments on here. A lot of great people chiming in on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Appreciate you for being a part of it. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back. Jesse Dupree coming up in about 10 minutes. Then we're back and we're live, Cooperville Live for Thursday, the 18th of February. I've had to check that like 4 times just to make sure the date was right because February is just flying by. They always say that. Even when you're stuck in the doldrums of winter, still flying by. We are live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on the Twitch. Thank you for all of you who are still tuned in, locked and loaded with us is Jesse James Dupree. Lead vocals of Jackyl, Mighty Loud Entertainment, Jesse James, American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey, Devil's Spirits, Mighty Loud TV, all the things, Full Throttle Saloon. Man's got his hands in everything, hands into everything. So we'll be talking to him coming up in about 5 minutes as he joins the program. So if you've got questions for Jesse you want to ask, make sure you get them ready, locked and loaded, and pound them into the comments of whatever platform it is that you are watching on. Special thanks out to my buddy Dustin Fade, watching at work over at Exclusive Barbershop doing his thing, watching the show. So appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Getting them numbers up on the Twitch. That's what we're doing. Tomorrow, I want to talk a little bit about this. I'm not sure how long Jesse and I will go today, but I do want to talk about tomorrow's show. Otherwise, the entire band, all of Otherwise, will be right here on this show tomorrow. Big Friday show, big send-off into the weekend. It's going to be great. Maybe they'll do some music. Maybe they'll do some freestyle. I don't even know. We're just gonna kick back. We're gonna have a good time on Friday's show, because who knows after that. Taking some time to process what the last 2 weeks has been like on this program, and we'll see. We'll see what happens after next week. But it's been super fun and super exciting to join all of you every single day for the last couple of weeks and chat for 3 hours a day and talk shit. Talk about stories, talk about things that are going on in the world, talk politics, talk music, talk it all. Fuzzy little drinks down in Mexico, dancing with dolphins, talking about it all. It's been fun. But tomorrow should be great. Otherwise, the whole band is going to be on. So we'll probably have them all like picture in picture because I think they're all over the states. To be like somebody's here, somebody. We'll figure it out. But it's going to be super cool. And again, that will be live 3 until 6 coming up tomorrow on Cooperville Live. So it'll be super fun. Lots. Joe's still hanging out with us. Yeah, brother. Jesse Dupree. I hope so. Texting Jesse back and forth. Dude's got 25 million. I mentioned like his laundry list of titles. He's got a million things going on. I'm like, I'm sending you over the info, the link, all the things you need. Click it, jump on. It'll be right here. Cool. Now, sometimes you can get caught up in other stuff, more important things, probably coming out with a triple barrel aged bourbon. At that, right there, probably coming out with that, but hopefully he'll figure it out and he'll be joining us on the program coming up in just a couple minutes. What else is going on in the worldwide world of all the things? And we talked in the early portion that NASA has landed the Perseverance, the rover, on Mars successfully, and I'm still just blown away. Obviously, there's many things to be blown away by that. We took something, we built it here, and sent it up in a fucking rocket ship at the right, because you only have like 2 times out of the year where you can launch something into space with the end goal of reaching a specific spot on Mars, because you have to get certain winds, some trajectory around the sun, gravitational. It's big words, Elon Musk type stuff. So you only do it at a certain time. They landed it, and they landed it within like 2 minutes to 3 minutes of when they expected to land it. I think we expected to land at 2:55, and it landed like 2:57, 2:58. Flying through space, dodging asteroids and space garbage, satellites, around and around and around the moon, within 2 minutes. On Mars, okay? It's not like a pizza delivery guy who's like, 30 minutes or less. Not sure why my pizza guy does not sound like that. 30 minutes or less, it'll be there. Maybe 32. But within a 2-minute window, bloop, we have confirmation we've landed on Mars. Cool, though. It's going to be there for a while. It was going to be there forever, but it's got a helicopter and shit, robot arms, just drills. It's fucking cool. Cool stuff. We can do some smart things. We can put our minds to it. The other stuff, we're like, I don't understand. Like the other stuff, we're just dumb. Like, how are we so dumb on so many things? But we're like, yeah, we can send some shit into space, man. And then land it on another planet within 2 minutes of the time we expected to land it. Like, how the fuck did we do that? How is that even possible? The simple stuff, it feels like. We make it super hard. Super hard. Not saying that wasn't a challenge. I'm sure that was a challenge. It weighs over a ton. It's like 10 foot by 9 foot by 7 foot. Boop. 12,000 miles an hour. Excuse me. Into the atmosphere. Through the atmosphere of Mars. Boop. Right in the spot they wanted it. Remote controlled. Okay. I'm guessing they don't have like an Xbox gaming control. Like, I'm just going to land this thing here. That's fine. Guessing they don't. But pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. And what else did we talk about earlier in the show? And of course, in American fashion, Krispy Kreme made their own donut. To celebrate Perseverance's landing on Mars. So that's cool. That's American. USA. Wave the flag. I always have a Sharpie, by the way. It's a part of my thing. I always have a Sharpie in my hand. So I can write things like 6 months. Remember that? That was in reference to Machine Gun Kelly announcing that he wears a vial of Megan Fox's blood around his neck. And I said, they have 6 months. That's it. That's the show. 6 months, and they're done. It's a Billy Bob Thornton, Angelina Jolie thing, like 6 months, and it's done. Oh, what else is going on in the world? Let's just take a look at today's top stories. What's going on here? I'm going to be sending down the Biden administration going to be sending supplies to Texas amid power outages. All approvals of disaster declarations in the state of Texas. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And Texas is, and this is another story, this is on the Washington Post, Texas is definitely, and I agree with the headline, Texas is definitely a go out of the lone state. Go out of the lone. We don't need anybody else. We're going to take care of it ourselves. Now, and they got a picture of a guy out by his grill. I'm sure it's not from Wisconsin. The guy's out by his grill. I think he's using it for a heat source, not like I'm going to make some steak and shit. I don't think that's it. But yeah, pretty wild stuff going on in the world, people. Wild stuff going on in the world. Oh, everybody's mad at Ted Cruz. Yeah, we got that. People are tweeting pictures of their frozen homes as Ted Cruz goes to Mexico. He came back. Others then calling out the turbines and all the other stuff. Yeah. Why did the turbines freeze in Texas? Would they work in the Arctic? Probably need some petroleum on there. I'm sure of it. It's all we need. But they'll survive. It's Texas. They're tough in Texas. You know where else they're tough? Georgia. Jesse Dupree.
Hey, man. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, my friend?
Trying to figure out how to get to the damn link.
But you're here and you're now, and are you in a snowy area? Are you in somewhere where there's no snow on the ground?
No, we're in Georgia. We just have ice up here, and then we get a bum rap because people say we can't drive in the snow. How do I get to there? People say we can't drive in snow, and we're driving in ice,
which is much more challenging.
Well, you can't drive on ice. It's like being on a skating rink with dance shoes.
See, we got salt up here in Wisconsin. We got this down. We look back at this whole picture of the globe, and we're like we got salt, and we just salt the roads because we got to get to work. But what's going on down in Texas? I was just talking about it. It's pretty wild. They weren't prepared.
Yeah, well, it happened to Georgia about 5 years ago or so, 6 years. Yeah. The whole town was slid all over the place. So how you doing? Otherwise, everything else good?
Doing well, man. How about yourself? I know you're out and about. I mean, even though there's all the stuff that's been going on over the last year, Jesse Dupree still out grabbing the world by the balls, man. Nothing stops you.
I've been very blessed. In spite of the damn pandemic that we've all had to deal with, I've stayed somewhat busy. We just released a Jackyl live DVD that's available at Jackyl.com, and the Jesse James Bourbon's doing really great, and people still drinking, and that's always good. There you go. Liquid America. And we're trying to get the band back out on the road. We're playing Daytona Bike Week coming up really, really soon. So in March 13th.
No, Florida's doing it right, man. They seemingly have a very low death rate down there. They're open. They just had a Super Bowl down there with 22,000 people, and it seems like they figured out something magic down there in Florida.
Yeah, those guys are they're always doing it the right way. I would say that they got 80-degree weather, and let's face it. I mean, it's a great environment to be in if you're trying to kill a virus, because generally it's pretty warm.
Right. So Daytona Bike Week, I know you're doing something with a giveaway as well. I know you got some Harley Davidson dealerships throughout the country that are in on some giveaways and stuff.
Yeah, we're doing. We got a Rolling Daytona. You can go to rollingdaytona.com if you want to check out what it's all about, the details on it and such. But giving away a trip to Daytona Bike Week. If you get down there, you can win a 2021 Electric Glide Harley Davidson motorcycle. I mean, Harley Davidson is just really bringing it in 2021. They're making up for a lot of lost time last year. So I'm proud to be standing beside those guys.
Now, you've been in music for a minute or two. How many years you got under your belt in the industry?
God, probably a good 30 years. As far as I graduated from high school and I never looked back, and been out on the road ever since, and been very, very blessed with the music career. But I'm not finished taking a big bite out of life's ass.
On the daily, Jesse, on the daily. But have you and I know how much you love shows, and you've had some chances to do some, Sturgis and doing some stuff throughout the course of the year. But has this been I was on the phone with you and you were on the way to somewhere else and the rest of your band was on the way somewhere else. And I said, hey, I have a possible show for you. And you turned the bus around just to come and do a show in Cadott a couple of years back out of like thin air.
That is true. Yeah, you pulled a rabbit out of your rear end to get us back up for that because everybody, matter of fact, the band and crew had all headed into different directions. And of course, Wade and the guys over at Rockfest, they've always been really, great to us. And I consider them to be part of the family as many years as we've been doing it. And then, I'm glad you were sitting in the meeting whenever they were looking for who could come in and save the night.
Right. Yeah, because Tom Kiefer had blown his vocal cords out the night before at a show. and so the call came in the morning that he wasn't going to make it. And I called you and I was like, where are you at? What you got going on? You're like, well, shit, let me figure it out. Like, give me some, make some phone calls. And you happen to do it. But to be, for somebody who like loves being on the stage and loves the fans and loves the show and understands that connection between the music and the fans that come to your shows, has it been tough on you not being able to get out as much as you typically would be in a year?
Yeah, of course it has. I mean, it's in my DNA. That's what we like doing, is playing. And it's been devastating to all of us. And I've been lucky. I've had other things to throw my attention to. I'd be probably in a padded room somewhere, which is where I deserve to be anyway.
Yeah. So what have you, obviously you got the week coming up. What else do you fill your time with?
Well, I've got the Jesse James Bourbon is a full-time job these days. Yeah. And because it's growing so fast. I mean, we're over 200,000 cases sold now. And we got the honey bourbon. In the last year, the honey bourbon has just exploded. I mean, which is really great. I'm glad, and it's the best honey bourbon on the market. But I have to be honest with you, it's because we cheated. All the other honey bourbons were out, so we were able to blind taste test and perfect our recipe until it was. I'm really proud of it. And if you like honey bourbons, I think you'll enjoy it. And I've had people that drink it just straight like it is, which is a great drink, or you can mix it with some ginger ale with a little splash of orange. It's great. And just like you can do a lot with it. People have cooked. I've had so many people cook with it, ribs, and the restaurant up from my house makes a Jesse James Bourbon salmon, which is really good.
Wow. They get innovative when, a lot of these people that have a lot of time on their hands as of late, and unfortunately as they do, they find innovative ways. And I know I have some outside of you. I have some family that's in, the different, in the wine industry and the beer industry. And they're like, we've never seen numbers like this. And you would think with a lot of bars and restaurants being closed, but everybody's going to the store, they're picking up their bottles and they're going home and they're like, what else we could do with this? We could probably make a glaze for some ribs. I mean, they're innovative.
Yeah, people are still getting together. I'm a firm believer that in the people in the side that says that these lockdowns don't work, because we're people are social. We're social by nature, and we've got to be out in the mix. It just doesn't work. It's not, it's just as detrimental to our mental health to be cooped up and not have that interaction. And so you got to pick your poison, right? And I think that also too, nobody can argue with the fact that if you're compromised and you can't afford to get the virus, then maybe you choose to go into the padded room because going crazy is a little safer than getting COVID. But if you are a healthy individual, maybe you don't want to risk the mental breakdown and get out and take a little bit of a chance in a safe, responsible way. And I'm the last person you want to hear lecture about any of that crap. I can tell you that at the end of the day, I want less government in my life. I think that people are inherently smart enough to figure out, on their own, that we don't need to be breastfed at this point in our life, which is exactly what's unfortunately going on. And set the government to the side. I don't like Fauci. That guy's just a bundle of damn negativity. But I mean, I just don't like his. I don't wish him any ill harm or nothing. But I don't care for his disposition on things.
Yeah, and especially when you have several instances of the position changing itself in short periods of time. Like one day it's this thing and the next thing is this thing. You're like, okay, well now you've lost trust from many of the American people. And
well, again, the last thing people out there want to hear is Jackal's lead singer talking about politics. So let's move on to the next thing.
The fan base, though, the Jackal fan base is obviously it's global. And when you go to a Jackal show, and I've been to a handful in my life, and most of them I remember most of, but that is the core of America. I mean, those are the hardworking people that like to go out. They like to have the bourbon on the weekends, and they're working their fingers to the bone, and then they get that opportunity to let loose at a show. I know you've been super active on social media trying to engage with the fans. You got a lot of stuff going on. You're keeping the positivity up. Have you had a lot of outreach from them to you to tell you how much they missed the show and they missed you being out? And
we try to respond to as many people as we can through the social media stuff. And I've recently, not too long ago, started working with Instagram. So I got my Jesse James Dupree Instagram. That's been, it's been interesting to watch how it's growing. And we try to do better at responding to people. We go through stages depending on what else we got happening. Yeah. But people are definitely ready for some live entertainment. And
Devil's Spirits, another thing that you took under your wing over the course of the last couple of years. How's that been doing? The marketing behind it's just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, Devil is good, doing really great. We got a really good head start on that one, and it reminds you, the flavor profile is like those little jawbreakers, the little atomic jawbreakers that we used to get. Sorry, the atomic jawbreakers we used to get as we were growing up, and again, very proud of it. If you get a chance to check out the Devil's Devil, please do so.
So you already got people jumping over in the chat here saying you're right on the money, Jesse. Right on the money. People know. If they want it, maybe you should thinking of running political office down there in the great state of Georgia.
Again, that's the last thing anybody out there wants is really Jesse Dupree for president.
So I know you talked about having Daytona Bike Week coming up. Do you guys have anything else on the horizon that you're working on? Obviously, with the summer coming to Sturgis, like anything else you planning to look at?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Sturgis is coming up in August, and we'll be rolling Sturgis, and that'll be a cool thing to be looking out for. We got the Full Throttle Saloons, Pappy Hoyle Campground. You can go to pappyhoylecampground.com, PAPPYHOEL campground.com. Make your reservations, come stay to Sturgis. We got Rolling Daytona going on right now. Go to rollingdaytona.com, check that out. You maybe win a trip to Daytona. Matter of fact, between now and the weekend, it's your last chance to probably get on there and register and to get to a chance to win the trip to Daytona and the 2021 Electric Glide Harley Davidson motorcycle and many more prizes. So come down to Daytona Bike Week. Maybe you get lucky.
I think with 78% of the country covered in snow for the first time in history, I think there's a lot of people who you say the word Daytona, they're like, yeah, that's where I need to be.
We're going to thaw things out, man.
Awesome. Hey, Jesse, it's so good to see your face, man, and talk to you. I know you got tons of irons in the fire. Keep fighting the good fight, man, and keep bringing the music out. And again, all the links will throw up in the show notes of the show, so you can go and register for that trip to Daytona and the bike, and check out Pappy Hoyle Campground to plan your summer, because people up here especially, we get anxious when it gets to be spring and summer. We're like, we need to go and do stuff, and maybe tenfold this year just because of all the things.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Congratulations on your show going global there. I love it. Y'all keep dialed right here, because it's all things that's happening in Coop World. So have a great day, man. I appreciate you.
Awesome. I'm gonna take some of this and stay warm. All right.
There you go. Stay warm.
All right. Take care, brother. Jesse James Dupree from Jackyl and Full Throttle Saloon, and Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey, and all the things. Taking some time out, dude. The cat's got a million things going on at all times, and I think that's the secret. Perhaps that's just have a lot of things, grow on the things, build on the things. And I was down in Sturgis. I was lucky enough to be down there, or over there, I should say. Oh, it's over for me. It's over. That's a fucking long trip, man. From here, we're on a bus. Luckily, it was a tour bus, so I'm not complaining about the accommodations. But on a bus going from Wisconsin through Minnesota and to Sturgis, South Dakota. Wow. Once you get past Minneapolis, St. Paul, there is just not a whole lot there. It's a lot of flat land, a lot of boring, but being at Sturgis, it was great. It was the 75th anniversary of the Pappy Hoyle motorcycle rally in Sturgis. And I believe there was over 1 million bikes there. So, you do the math. It's not just one person on a bike. A lot of times there's two. a million people plus. And I mean, just, you feel like you're part of something special. I imagine, I know it happens every year, but 75th, I think was something special. You always get that the 50th, the 75th, and the 100th are always the big ones, they're anniversary years. But I mean, to me, it felt like maybe with less revolution, that Woodstock feel like it was a lot of freedom and a lot of energy and a lot of fun and a lot of laughs and really a cool thing to be a spectator of and to be on the grounds for. We spent the whole time at Full Throttle Saloon out there, and an amazing trip. Seeing Jackyl on Thursday night out at Full Throttle. It's always their night. Jackyl night's always Thursday, and the crowd was I mean, it was just fucking insane. I've never, I mean, I've seen a crowd that big, but just in the way that the infield by the stage is set up, I mean, it's just like this seas of people, and all sorts of artists. I saw Lejean from Witherspoon out there. Couple other guys from bands I know. They're just roaming about the crowd, not like in like special onstage seating. There's roaming about the crowd. It was really, really a special thing. Jesse comes on on a Harley that's like lifted by, I don't know, a crane or a helicopter, comes over the crowd and lands on this. It was just fucking spectacular. And then the bikes, man. I mean, I've always said that, like, people look at, like, not all Harley Davidson owners, but like, people that ride bikes, like, oh, it's kind of got a connotation of being like this dirty crowd, like, oh man. But some of those bikes, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars invested into some of those bikes. I watched some of the, they did some competition, some judging on these different bikes. You just walk, and it's like the whole front parking lot is reserved. Nobody can park there with a vehicle. There's not many actual cars there. And it's just row after row after row of these beautiful bikes out there. And somebody has the really difficult job of judging which one of these is the best. And, they do baggers, and they do like ones that have sound systems in them, and they do street glide. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And again, we didn't even make it into town. We didn't even go into the city. But that's another hub where there's just, I mean, if you've ever seen pictures of Sturgis while the rally's going on, it's just, the streets are closed down to traffic except for bikes, and there's just bikes lined up all along the main drag there, and bikes going back and forth on both sides. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. And thanks to Jesse for giving me the opportunity to be out there for the 75th. It was a really kind of it was super bittersweet, because we were at the original Full Throttle Saloon, which was iconic, and just a really, really cool place to, just the bars were cool, and there was the memorabilia was cool, and it was just a super unique place. Huge, I mean, enormous location. And so that was in August of shit. I don't know. It's in August, several years back. And, we left, and we were out there for the full rally. I was broadcasting live on my radio show, sending back reports, doing the whole thing, enjoying the camaraderie and the scenery and all the other stuff. So we left, we came back, and it was just a couple of weeks later. I woke up, still I was getting up early at that point and working out, and news flash kept, flashed up that Full Throttle Saloon was completely burned to the ground. And it was crazy, because we had been there a couple weeks ago. A bunch of radio cats out there at Full Throttle. A couple weeks later, burned to the ground. And then they ended up, buying a different spot, different location, and building another bar, building another Full Throttle. And I haven't been out to that one yet, but I've heard it's equally, there's a fucking swimming pool there now. I mean, I'm not sure I would jump in, but that's just me. But they got campsites, and they have cabins, and they have everything you need right in that one spot, and entertainment every night, great bands. And Jackyl obviously still plays on Thursday. But yeah, Pappy Hoyle Campground. If you want to look at that for a great, even if you don't have a bike. I mean, if you have a bike, that you got to make it. If you have a Harley, if you have a bike, that has to be your Mecca. That has to be the place that you need to make it out there. But go and experience that. I mean, that is people from all walks of life, people you wouldn't think, like, oh, you're a Harley guy. Like, oh yeah, man. it's just a real unique, special experience. If you ever have a chance to get out there, look up Pappy Hoyle Campground, Full Throttle Saloon, Sturgis, South Dakota. August. It's early August. It's like the first week of August. Like 9 days in a row of just awesomeness, music and entertainment. They had like the death ball, where they have like guys on bikes just flying around this ball, and then there's 10 of them in there, and it was right in the middle of the grounds. It was just crazy. But very special time out there with Jesse and Michael Ballard and the crew. They were filming the show. Full Throttle Saloon was on. It was on a network back then, so they're filming the show out there, and it was just a really spectacular thing to be a part of. So I encourage you to go and make that a destination, and make sure you get some. And again, he's not paying me for this. Make sure you get some Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey. The honey is great, by the way. He was not lying. Like, he has to say that because it's his brand. But the honey bourbon is spectacular. And it's not like super bitey. So if you just like, throw it on some ice, like it's, man, that's money right there. Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Honey Whiskey. There's a spiced, I think they have a single barrel. I think they just did, they did another one too. Was it a double barrel? I think they did. Doing all right. Doing all the things right. So very cool. So thanks to Jesse for being a part of today's show. Great to catch up with him. Again, I sent him, I'm like, how much time you want? He's like, I only have like 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, just jump on and chat. And he's got a bunch of things going on. Daytona Bike Week coming up in March. Florida sounds really good right now. Florida sounds really good. We talked about Florida yesterday with the Governor DeSantis being like, open for business. Come on down. Enjoy. 80 plus degrees at Daytona Beach right now. Sun shining. Vitamin D going into the system. Healthy. Living the dream. It's great. Daytona Bike Week coming up March. And where's their Harley giveaway? Yeah, they're giving away that at Harley Davidson this week. They're giving away a trip to Daytona. So find Jesse on Instagram. It's at Jesse James Dupree, I believe. I just had him up here. Let me pull it back. Jesse James Dupree. Yeah, Jesse James Dupree with 2 E's on Instagram, and he's actually got a video about Daytona Bike Week that's up there right now. So you can go to the website, sign up, and maybe you win a trip to Daytona. Wouldn't that be nice right about now? We'll take a short break. We'll come back, wrap up the show, and we'll talk about tomorrow's big show. Lots of stuff still to come. Thank you all for staying tuned in. I see we got the Facebook is on fire, and we got YouTube going and Twitch. It means a lot that you all are on here for today's show. So we're back in 5. And we're back on the live show, Cooperville Live. Thank you all for tuning in. I have to give my mother some love on here. Hi, Mom. That's all I know, sir. There's two people in the world that call me Christopher. One's my cousin, one's my mother. So she's on the show. Everybody else, this is Cooperville Live. I'm Cooper. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for taking some time out, joining the program. And thanks to Jesse James Dupree from Jackyl, Full Throttle Saloon, Jesse James, American Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey, and all of its subsequent flavors. And Mighty Loud, Mixer, all the stuff, dude. Just got his hands into everything. Hands into everything. Watch it going off. I was reading this story just popped up, and I want to say it's clickbait necessarily, but obviously you know what clickbait is. Like it's a crazy headline, and you're like, I should read more. Well, this was kind of one of those things. The headline was, a psychologist says this is how they get you. This. And then you want to know what this is. This is one of the most harmful questions parents can ask their kids. This. And you're like, what is it? I have a kid? What's the question? Have I asked it already? Am I doomed? Here's the question. That one psychologist says is one of the most harmful that you can ask your children. Are you paying attention if you have kids? The question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? How dare he ask his child what said child wants to be when said child grows up? How dare you? It is the most harmful question. One, if the not most harmful questions you can ask your children. What would you like to be when you grow up, according to this psychologist? Here's his reasons. Is it can give your child, it can give your child tunnel vision into just being that one thing that they wanted to be when they grew up. And they could miss other opportunities that are out there because they're so focused on that one thing they decided they wanted to be when they grew up. Thank you, Joe. Kevin McAllister. What do you want to be? The danger is that they can give us tunnel vision, blinding us to alternative possibilities. We don't know how time and circumstances will change what we want or even who we want to be, and locking our lives like GPS into a single target can give us the right directions to the wrong destination. End quote. So, according to this guy, again, psychologist, says that if you ask your children what they want to be when they grow up, I'm not sure what a good time for that is. Maybe when they're a little more cognitive, they're 7 or 8, 8 or 9, 9 or 10. I think the conversation changes when they get to be like teenagers and stuff, because when you're talking about college, or do you want to go to college, or what do you think you want to be? Are you a super athlete? Are you super talented in music? Are you a creator? Are you a YouTube star? And you don't have to worry about doing anything. You just need to, make money on YouTube. It's a thing now. It's a job. It is. There are kids on YouTube that all their job is to open up stuff, open up toys and be like, this toy kind of sucks. Not only do they get paid for that, but they also get the toys for free. Like, people just send them toys like, give us a review, young child. And kids watch other kids open shit, and they're like, well, I want that too. He said that toy was great. I'm like, yeah, he got that toy for free. Where do you want to be when you grow up? Get a job. Buy yourself. So you have this conversation with your child, and he's, I don't know, mine's 10, going to be 11. So I'll say that. Hey, Gray, what do you want to be when you grow up? He'd probably at this point say like YouTube star. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to make videos, and he's into some different things, fire alarms and weather radios, and obviously video games, things that typical kids are into. Okay, maybe not the fire alarms and weather radio stuff, but video games, definitely typical. And when you see a career path that is some kid on YouTube making a shitload of money doing different things, whether it's playing Roblox or playing Minecraft, doing whatever, you see the kid on there and you're like, yeah, I'd like to do that, but he's 10 and be 11. He hasn't discovered the power of relationships yet. Whichever direction he goes, whatever, I don't care. That's fine by me. He hasn't discovered that yet. That'll throw you off. That'll throw you out of balance a little bit, especially during those young boy years. You're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I thought I understood, but I don't understand. But this guy is saying, if you ask them what they want to be, and they give you an answer, be a firefighter, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, politician. That because you add, and because they say that out loud, they manifest that out loud, they say, I want to be this, then anything else that's around them, any other opportunity or interest, they would not have focus on, because they're going to be solely focused on the thing they said when they were young, like 10. And it will deter them from other possibilities that maybe would make them happier or make them more money or what. Like, come on. Like, he's 11. Like, if he's making his life choices now about what he wants to be when he grows up, which I'm not sure what age that is. I think it's like 35. I think 35 is grown up. Anything below that, you're still learning shit. And you're still learning after 35. But that's like I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's 40, because I'm 40 and I have no fucking idea. Thought I did. Realized I didn't. Thought I did again. Still learning shit. But at 10, 11, 12, like, no, they're going to have tunnel vision. No, they will not. He'll be distracted by something. They'll be distracted until they're 35. They may not figure out what they want to be when they grow up until they're after 35, even if you ask them when they're young. What do you want to be when you grow up? It's just wrong. It's not dangerous. I think now when you have those conversations, well, I'm really into this right now. And then guess what? If you have kids, you understand this. They're into something else 5 minutes later. Whatever that was, whatever that thing was, they were like, this is going to be I'm super into this. I'm super going to do this. This is my thing. Yeah, they're over that quick. So I think that they're going to be tunnel vision for the rest of their, young adult lives and miss out on things because they were super hyper focused on that question that you asked them when they were young is preposterous. Preposterous. I think it's okay to ask your kids what they want to be when they grow up. I think you could ask them multiple times. And likely, because of all the other things that they learn and come into their lives, those answers are going to change over the course of time. I'll be a firefighter. I want to be a policeman. At one point, my son wanted to be a Ninja Warrior firefighter because he wanted to do Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior, and then he wanted to be a firefighter. Now he doesn't want to be any of those things. We got Matt. I'm like, my kid's going to make big money someday. He's going to he better. If he could do that now, that'd be great. I would like, I like my kid to take care of me now. That'd be great. Of course, he's 10. So no. Matt Brown jumping on the thing on the live stream. What's up, Matt Brown? How things going? We're going, man. We're here. How we looking? We're still here. So I just, and people read that story and they take it to heart. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll take it and be like, oh, no, I can't ask my kid what he wants to be when he grows up. I can't ask him because this psychologist, this story just said the truth. We've lost all ability to have rational thought. I don't quite understand that. Especially when it comes to parenting your own children. Like, I will ask my son what he wants to be when he grows up. And when he's grown up, I'll be like, are you sure this is what you want to do? This makes you happy? Every day you wake up and you're like, I'm super happy doing this. Just another way, man. It's just another way. No. What are you going to do? Is that actually a story? Okay. So I have just the news, like regular news feeds up. It's got a bunch of different, news feeds, news sources on here. And I won't read the story. I won't. Because again, it's clickbait. It's clickbait and I'll get you. So I'll give you the news around it and I'll give you why this one stands out. Okay. So from the Atlantic, Ted Cruz is no hypocrite. He's worse. Yes. Washington Post, opinion. Tucker Carlson detects other suspicious behaviors. CNN. Rolling Stone. Rock Livingston confronting Rock's shortest-lived supergroup. Okay. BuzzFeed has another story about Ted Cruz. GQ has a story about making $100,000 a month on OnlyFans. Maybe that's the fucking secret. Maybe I should start an OnlyFans page. Would you follow? Just kidding. It's a fucking joke. People don't buy the hype. Somebody will clip that. No, they won't. So all those are the stories that are surrounding this headline that I was like, does that really fucking say that? This is from Vice. I'm not going to read the story, at least on the show. But Vice has a headline, A Beginner's Guide to Squirting. And it's a picture of a couple, happy couple. I mean, they're clothed, don't worry. But that's That's the headline. Why? Well, I don't understand why. I don't understand why that's a headline. But I guess if you're really interested in a beginner's guide to squirting, there's a story wrapped amongst all the other news of the day about how to begin, thanks to Vice and Vice.com. I can only share the truth so many times. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Let's talk about tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's Friday. If you live in a Monday through Friday world, perhaps where WS is, it's like already Friday. I'm not sure. I know you're in Malaysia. It's a different continent, probably a different day. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the cam. I think it's just the lighting. I moved my light earlier, and it's throwing off this whole thing. See how it kind of comes in and out of focus. But anyway, tomorrow on the show, Friday show, ready for the weekend if you do those things. Otherwise, my friends in the band Otherwise from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's where they're from. I think actually Adrian's out somewhere on the East Coast, but we'll all be joining. All of the band will be here on this platform, on this show, all in the round. They'll be all around here. So join us. I think they're coming on at 4 p.m. Central Time. So jump on. Check out some of the music. Crossfire, was a fantastic, their latest song. I believe it's their latest song. Check that out. All their stuff. Darker Side of the Moon and Soldiers and man, the list goes on and on. Great band. Fantastic human beings. And they will all be on this program tomorrow, taking over Cooperville Live on what could possibly be the final show. Life gets in the way, got to be an adult, got to go and do adult things, work adult jobs, make adult money. And so we'll see. But I'm happy that if tomorrow is the final one, that it's going out with a bang, with the entire crew of Otherwise joining the program. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for them to be a part of it. Adrian was a part of the first episode. Ryan was on last Friday, and the whole band is going to come on tomorrow. And maybe as a fond farewell to Cooperville Live and to all of you who have made this a real fun experience, jumping in the comments all the time and watching on whatever platform it is that you watch on. So it'll be fun tomorrow, starting at 3, and we'll go until whenever Otherwise wants to wrap up. We'll let them jam. We'll let them talk. We'll let them do all the things. It'll be fun. Till then, take care of yourselves and everybody around you. And if you're in Texas, don't freeze. Do all the things. I know, Joe. Man, it's an 8-hour-a-day hobby. That's the tough part, man. It's 8 hours a day of show prep, of post stuff, contacting guests, and we had a big sponsorship deal out there. I won't name any names, but they decided to go in a different direction. So that's the cost of being the boss, right? But we'll go with a bang. Cool. Go out. We'll have fun. And hopefully you join. Tell your friends. Tomorrow's going to be a great show. And we'll do our best. Like I said, until then, take care of yourselves, one another, everybody else around you. Be safe. Be smart.